I'm going to read you a series of tweets. Ronan.
Okay.
And I want you to know that all of these tweets happen within the span of 12 hours. Not months apart. We're not talking about weeks going by, hours. Mere hours going by. So Wonderful is an RPG studio. They make paper sort of RPG, pen and paper RPGs. And they tweet out 22 hours ago, hatred is a big business these days in the USA. We don't subscribe to it or support those who do. I think we can all agree with that. That's a good stance to have, right? Then they go, and this is 18 hours ago, so 4 hours later, they go, in fact, we worked a lot with Larry Elmore, Steve Wance, and Jeff D to make the art for Giant Lands more representative and inclusive. The premise? What if in the future there were no white people? James Ward loved it too. Larry always tried to sneak in people of color into his TSR art, though he was often denied his attempts to make D&D less white. So we decolonized the RPG and made a future where the USA and white people don't exist. Now, I want to remind all of you, they're not for hatred. They're not about the racism game at all. They don't like it one bit. Then, of course, these people who hate hatred and are all for love and sort of coming together and playing video games, they have the following tweet, and this is 6 hours later. Not from the original tweet where they said that they don't like the hate game. They go, #TrumpZ, losers, like this is what killed our business. So they admit that their business is dead. They live in some off-white fantasy of reality. We won't serve them or theirs. They are not welcome at our tables. They bought the books and didn't realize the premise is that they and their kind are finally gone from this earth. So help us God. This is all just in 6 hours, by the way.
So I have a couple of things to say. Number one, if you want to make a game where there's no white people and USA and whatnot do not exist, valid. That's fine.
Do you think?
You know, maybe you can even have a really good story about how, because, you know, whenever it comes to these types of things, usually they will want the white race. They're so destructive. It's like, maybe you can even have like a premise where we fucking offed each other. We fucking killed ourselves and our great, you know, efforts of conquering everything and everyone and all of the evilness that the white race has, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm talking about like modern white race, you know, people like me, shit like that, like, because we're all so evil and all of that, right? So if you want to do that, go right ahead. I think that's fine. I think that's a perfectly valid story premise, if that's what you want to do. I don't care. Now, but when you are tweeting out, crashing out like this nonstop, that tells me that maybe you're not doing it because you want to explore this amazing story, that this concept that you have for this story, for this game that you want to go do. Which, by the way, I completely believe that you should be free to do that concept if that's what you want. Do it. I wish you all the best, right? But the fact that dude is tweeting out like this, it says that he's not doing it because of like some it's like, oh, I have this really creative idea about how this happens. It's more like, I fucking don't like him. Fuck him. Let's erase him, et cetera, et cetera. It seems like more virtue signaling than anything else. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't fucking know. But either way, all the power to you. But there's another thing that I wanted to bring up, right? Bro's saying like, these people, if you support Trump, you're not welcome at our tables or whatever, all of this other bullshit. So let me tell you, I showed this at the beginning of the show, which this is also from a tabletop game. So as somebody who has been enjoying tabletop games, let me tell you something. In 2025, tabletop games is something that is extremely niche.
Yeah.
Okay. And I do mean fucking niche. Yeah. Okay. And if you want to take your niche and then like and also we don't want to serve those people. Yeah. It's like, brother, you're a niche within a niche and you want to carve an extra layer on that? You want to exclude more people from it? I don't think that's a good business strategy, and I don't think you then get to blame people for your business failing.
Yeah, but that's
all
you
I'm
just
saying.
hit on the exact problem I have. Like, I don't have a problem. You want to make a game where white people aren't allowed, even though white people make up the vast majority of gamers in the Western world. And the problem with a lot of these pen and paper RPGs is they're very cultural, right? They're a Western.
Oh, you said in the Western world.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was about to remind you of that article that said like something in the lines of, well, Stellar Blade sold 3 million copies, and you can thank China for that. And
No. I mean, Asia has a ton of people. The problem, of course, with Asia is that the West has a hard time breaking into the Asian market for the most part because cultures differ, right? Different cultures.
They have too much freedom.
Well, I would say not necessarily. What's interesting is I think so. This is an interesting topic that I've been wanting to explore a lot
politics.
more closely. No, it's actually nothing to do with politics.
Okay.
One of the things that sort of blew me away with Clear Obscure Expedition 33, and you've played it as well, right?
Yes, I haven't finished it, but I have played it.
Is there, you can so clearly tell who made the game. Like there's no denying it. As soon as you log into that game, you realize, wait, this is French. Everything about this game is French. It's sort of the same thing whenever you play a game from Korea or you play a game from Japan. It's so obvious that this is a game from Korea or Japan. The cultural significance is everywhere. Dude, but think about a lot of AAA games.
Before you keep going, listen, I have a really good one. I have to just put this one out there. This one comes from Josh Strife Hayes. Like somebody was criticizing part of his video on Expedition 33, something about it, about Josh making like some French joke or whatever.
Oh, yeah?
And Josh just replies, omelette du gommage. It's like, damn!
I mean,
omelette du gommage is fucking diabolical, dude. What the fuck?
But it's cultural. Now think about a lot of other AAA games. Think about the Assassin's Creed games. Think about modern day AAA games. If I gave you Dragon Age the Veilguard to play, and I asked you, who do you think made this game? Like, which country do you
I've
think
already
made
played it, Akalon. I'm good.
No, obviously, but imagine you've never played it, right? And all I'm asking you, I'm not asking you, do you think the game is good or bad? I'm just asking you, who made this game? Where was this game produced? Would you be able to tell me?
I would say in USA.
You'd think maybe USA, but would you be able to put money on it? Like, would you absolutely say, yep, this game was definitely made in the USA? Probably not, because culturally, you'd probably put money on it because it's the best pay, right? It's where most
I'd probably go as far as say even California, but I don't know if that's where their studio is based.
No, Dragon Age the Veilguard was made in Canada, right? Because
it was made in Canada?
Okay. Yes, BioWare is in Canada. But that's the point, right? The game has no cultural soul because our studios have become so amalgamated with nonsense. And it's all the fault. Like, I'm not suggesting that we should have, all white studios. That's not the point here. The point is, if you're going to have studios like Ubisoft, for example, in France, why do those games not play like games that came from France? Why is it that every Assassin's Creed that you make, regardless of where the studio is the same bland, boring bullshit? And then I compare it to olden day games like Mass Effect, for example. It is so clear that Mass Effect comes from North America. Like, you can tell there's a North American freedom, humanity first, badassery, right? That's the whole point and premise of it. And that's the thing that the West exports to the rest of the world, is this freedom. I'm doing my own thing, us against the world, humanity first kind of idea. You can tell the culture and the soul of who made the game. And that's something that I think modern AAA studios completely lost. It's basically just slop that fails to have any cultural relevance. And I think you need that, right? I think if you don't have cultural relevance within your game, the problem is we respond to cultures. I might not be French, but I can respond to the French culture, right? Because it's established. It's something unique within our world. The same way that I can respond to the Japanese culture when I play a Japanese game, or even to the Chinese culture, because there's something deeper within it. As a human being, I can understand the value of it. Whereas when you make a game like Relooters, for example, which is a game that's meant to celebrate Black people, but it focuses on nothing that would make Black people, sort of celebrating their culture, that's a failure. And we just see this so often. So my point I'm trying to make is, if you are wonderful, right, and you're making a pen and paper RPG, it should first be noted that pen and paper RPGs is a very Western thing. It's not that large in Asia. It's not that large in China. It's a very Western sort of medium. So you already there have a fairly limited scope of who will actually play your game. And then you go, you know what? I don't care that around 80% of the Western world is white. I don't want them playing the game. I say, well, I wonder how that's going to play out for you. And then when your game fails, right, when you start losing money, blame the people that you didn't want playing the game in the first place.
I thought his thing was we don't want specifically Trump supporters playing the game, not white people in general. Well,
remember, the game already examines the idea that no white people exist and America doesn't exist, right? So that already sort of tells white people everything they need to know, because that's the specific focus of the game. But then you go on to basically blame white people for stuff, because there's a bunch of tweets that I skipped over where they go, the most oppressed people in the world are Black women. That's why we stand up for this stuff. And Malcolm X was right. And, they're basically on this whole thing of just attacking white people everywhere. So you're already there. Then you, of course, go, it's just the Trumpsy people that we don't want playing our game, which I think is already sort of stupid, because at least half of the white people in the West probably aligned to some extent with the stuff that Trump would stand for.
Here's an interesting thing. I just feel like a lot of people in game development, considering that not even people that are fully dedicated to politics, I sometimes find that I listen to what they have to say and I'll be like, I don't know. Like we all usually talk about politicians and how dumb most politicians are, and these are people that dedicate their whole life to politics. If there are people that can dedicate their whole life to politics and still be fucking stupid assholes, like I would imagine that unless you can really just dedicate yourself wholeheartedly to studying politics and really just like understanding how it works, just coming out and going like, I'll make a video game. I'm a video game developer, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I think about all these political things. It's like, okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Did you study those, or did you just like, make up your opinion based on what you see on social media? This is why I don't talk about politics that much, because like I talk about fucking video games, bro. I play video games. That's my thing. Like, I don't think that I'm qualified to talk about politics. Why does everybody in this industry think that they need to be talking about politics?
No, I respect
which is what I would say. Which is what I would say about this person, Wenderfield, whatever. Like, why? Like, listen, just make your video game where there's no white people. Not video game. Make your tabletop game.
Yeah.
Where there's no white people, and focus on making it a good game rather than entangling yourself in all of these fucking political issues. Just make the game. Just make the game, and people will decide if it's good or not, if they like the story premise or not. Just make your fucking game, okay?
That's
it.
Just to finish my thought.
It's so weird.
Right, just to finish my thought, because all of that everything I said just before, all of that doesn't matter to me. Right? You want to piss off half the white population in the West, go for it. Do your thing. But then
you don't get to blame people for your business fucking exploding.
Pisses me off, dude. Like, We've
Yeah, it's
spoken
like,
about this so much.
It's your fucking fault. And it's like, you said you hated me and you wanted me to die, and then you made a game where I actually do die.
Yeah, well, I don't even
What
exist.
do you mean this is my fault?
But the thing is, it happens so often. Like, the whole AAA industry does this the whole time. Well, we don't want you playing our game. And then we don't play the game. And then they go, yeah, it's these evil, racist white people, white men, chuds and gamers that's destroying our games. And it's like, dude, you can't have it both ways.
That is,
you can't tell us we can't play
weird,
the game,
dude.
but then blame us when the game fails.
Yeah.
Like, pick a lane and stick to it. You know, if you don't want to make money, sure, make your game and piss off half your audience, but then don't blame us when, you know, your game ultimately fails. Talking about blame shifting,